Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL daily. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here are your hosts, Erin Summers and Todd Graffagnini.
Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast, kicking off week 2 of Saints training camp this Monday. Erin Summers here alongside Todd Graffagnini, brought to you by Rouse's Markets. As always, appreciate them in supporting us here on the pod. The pads came out today, Todd. That was definitely the big storyline of the day. It was a lot more physical. You could see that right off the bat. The guys in the trenches were going at it. You have the one-on-one drills where they're working on the pass rush. But then even after the plays were over, there was a lot of extracurricular activity. People punching at balls. I mean, full on hitting. Like, they were tackling like crazy out there.
Yeah, that's, what you're waiting for. First few days of practice, you got the shells on, the helmets and the shorts, but you're building to what we saw today, and that's getting the pads on and getting the physicality. That's what football's all about, is being physical, especially in the trenches. So it was good to see the one-on-one drills between the offensive line and the defensive line. That's always a highlight of padded practices. We haven't seen the one-on-ones yet between the wide receivers and the defensive backs. I'm sure we're going to see that very soon, even though tomorrow is going to be a special teams walkthrough, which we will not be a part of. So I would imagine we'd see that either Wednesday or Thursday. But the players, they wait for this day. They really do, where they can really start hitting people. And you mentioned the physicality. You mentioned the post whistle blowing, trying to punch the ball out that Kellen Moore discussed after practice today. It's something that they really teach, not only for the defense, but for the offense as well. Mm-hmm. You got to be aware of defenders trying to come in late and trying to force turnovers by punching the ball out. So, again, everything has a purpose with this coaching staff, and we saw it again today. But, some good matchups on the offensive and defensive line. They were in the east end zone going at it while, again, really efficient practice. Everything, you had 7-on-7 going on at the same time while the offensive and defensive lines were going at it. So we've talked about this from the first day of practice in our first podcast. They are absolutely trying to utilize as much time as reps and take advantage of what time they do have on the practice field, and they did it again today. Yeah,
and for the first time all camp, we saw them running teams on both fields at the same time. So definitely maximizing things there. It was Tyler Shuck and Jake Haener on one field, and then Spencer Rattler and Hunter Deckers on the second field, going through a ton of reps. But that is, to your point, maximizing time and getting a lot of players, a lot of work.
Yeah, so just watching it a little bit, they had, Shuck, who was running the first team offense. He was on the south field in front of us, and on the north field was Rattler in front of the fans. Mm-hmm. And both of those guys got 8 full reps, which is the most that we have seen in any period of training camp. So they both got 8 reps, then the horn blew, and then they all moved to the south field. They flipped the field, moving from east to west, and then all 3 quarterbacks got more reps. Shuck got 7 more reps, Rattler got 4 reps, and Jake Haener finished practice with 4 reps. So, they got a lot to evaluate, and they certainly got their opportunities today.
And they're definitely starting to lean heavier on those first team reps, whoever the quarterback is that day. We saw that with Spencer Rattler getting a higher number of reps than any of the other quarterbacks, and then Tyler Shuck, again, getting that today. It was heavy on the run game. Yes. With the pads coming on, you can start to work on that side of the game a little bit more. And it was not easy for those running backs to get through the line.
Well, again, we talk about this all the time. The defense is going to have an advantage early on in training camp because they pretty much know that they're working on the running game. So they can stack up and bring guys up from the backfield. And it's tough to open those holes up very early in camp. Now, eventually it's going to start to loosen up a little bit, and you'll see the offense kind of catch up. But, early on, it's going to be advantage defense, and that was certainly the case today. It was tough sledding. I think the best run we saw, at least early on, was by Kendre Miller, who kind of had a couple of nifty moves to the left and the right, slivered through, and had about a 20-yard run. But other than that, it was tough sledding.
Yeah, and Kendre Miller talked after practice yesterday, said that he's feeling the best that he ever has in his career. He's really looking forward to this year. He feels like he's in the best shape he's ever been. And we joked around a little bit. He changed his number from 25 to 5, dropping the 2. He said there was really no significance other than he's trying to give himself kind of a clean slate, because that number, for whatever reason, wasn't working for him. He was getting injured, not playing a lot. So he's out here, new and improved, new look, Kendre Miller this season. It's really interesting to see how the defensive line is starting to develop. And Carl Granderson, somebody that spoke after practice, Kellen Moore, spoke so highly of Grando and what he's done so far in camp.
Just on first look, did it appear that Carl Granderson had a good day?
Yes.
Could you talk about it, your impressions of him so far?
Yeah, I think our edge rushers, it's just a really good group. And certainly what those guys are doing, Grando's, leading the way in so many ways. His physicality and his play effort stands out each and every day. And so we keep trying to highlight him as much as we can in the team meetings, because if he plays like that, special things are going to happen when everyone else starts playing that way. Now we're rolling.
Grando said himself after practice as well that he has come in slim and trim like a bicycle rim. That was a direct quote. I'm not exactly sure what the correlation is between a bicycle rim and a football player, but he's at 270, and he says he has a six-pack now. He said at one point while he was here, he got up to 289. So the fact that he is coming in as svelte as he is, I mean, you can see the speed on the field.
Well, hey, and I think today, we've been talking about the 3-4 defense since we've been doing the pod all week. But today, I really felt like you were looking at a true 3-4. And if Granderson's going to be on the outside, that is what they're going to ask him to do. And it's almost like you're almost like a bigger linebacker when you're out on the outside, because you want to rush the passer. So, that's the type of body type, if you will, that he's going to have to be a consistent pass rusher, which is what they're asking you to do. Yeah, you do have to stop the run, but ultimately in a 3-4, you're rushing the passer from the outside, and that's the body type that he's going to need.
Yeah, it's a way to help with a mobile quarterback as well, because that's something that hurt the Saints a lot last season, putting those two linebackers on the outside, eliminating those outside lanes and the ability for the quarterback to get out there as well. But Grando said he didn't want the linebackers to do anything, that he wants the defensive line to crush and kill everything themselves. So he said, the mentality of the defensive line right now, I'm all for it. Gotta definitely shore up that side of the game. They were 31st against the run last year. Do not want to see a repeat in that this year. As far as the quarterbacks, you got a play of the day from anybody?
I tell you what, I can say
they were facing a lot of pressure today.
They were. I'm going to say this. I'm going to use this as my play of the day, and I can say this because my column's going to go out before this podcast does. It was something that I talked to you about when we were headed to media availability. It wasn't anything that really, we had a long pass from Rattler to Shaheed. That was nice and everything, but I want to go to the one that Tyler Shuck completed to Brandon Cooks. There was, as you mentioned, there was a lot of pressure. I mean, Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator, was bringing the heat today during team practices, which is something we have not seen at all in the first 4 practices, because you weren't really rushing the passer in any capacity.
You still can't take the quarterback down, and there definitely were some plays that were sacks.
They were blitzing today, and there was one play because, look, Shuck faced a lot of pressure today, and he held on to the ball a little bit. He didn't want to force anything, which to his credit, he did not. We didn't have any interceptions or turnovers, which is good. But there was one rep a little later in the practice where the defense brought an extra rusher. The first team offensive line, which again has been consistent throughout. We've seen those 5 guys play every first team rep the entire time, unless Eric McCoy took that vet day. That was the only time. But the pocket held, Shuck didn't panic. He let the pocket just kind of form around him, and he waited for Brandon Cooks to get open and hit him for about a 20-yard pickup on a right-to-left crossing pattern. That, to me, showed his ability, not to be hurried. He did not, get happy feet, even though the pocket was kind of collapsing around him, but he stood tall and he delivered the ball perfectly, and it would have been a first down and then some. Of course, Brandon Cooks is outstanding with yards after catch. But that, to me, was the play that kind of was, all right, And I know it's a pretty obvious thing, but protection is everything with these quarterbacks. It's really hard to play the position if you don't have any time to throw. And I think we saw today, Erin, all three quarterbacks, when they have time to throw, they are able to deliver the ball. And that's, to me, is going to be the real key to this training camp and preseason as the quarterbacks continue to be evaluated.
Absolutely. It's going to be tough because each day there are moments by each quarterback make you go, okay, I see it. And it's going to come down to the consistency is what Coach Moore keeps saying and who he thinks puts him in the best position for success. And it's going to come down to around that first preseason game when they make a couple decisions there of how they're going to move forward in terms of distributing reps. But right now, stuff remains pretty even across the board as how much time everybody is getting out there. As far as who was in and out today, Demario Davis was back. He had the excused absence yesterday. And then tackle Josh Ball, he had been in at right tackle as the backup. He was released, so it was Josiah Aziram that came in as the backup right tackle, and he is one of the draft picks from last season. So good to see him getting some run there as well. On the side field, again, Foster Moreau, he's been out there doing work every single day, and we've seen Taysom Hill out there.
Yep.
He was jogging a little bit the other day. I did see that. Just, I don't think he was actually doing anything, but it was good to see him run across the field to go see somebody else. At least he's moving. So we'll continue to monitor their status and what they're doing throughout these practices. But since the pads came on, and we were talking a lot about the line, Graf, you were able to catch up with our right guard in Cesar Ruiz. So I'm going to hand it over to your conversation there.
All right, thanks a lot, Erin, here with Cesar Ruiz. And wily veteran now going into your 6 years. So training camp's got to be old hat, but still get the butterflies every time you start it back up again?
Yeah, for sure. You this time of the year is always fun. You always get that excitement that those butterflies I just can't wait to go out here and play ball. And, it's just fun.
How was your off season? I heard you talking a little bit. Were you able to get away at all? I know you did some media work with NFL Network, so starting to make the transition to the other side while you're still playing?
Yeah. I'm just trying to do as much side quest as I can, just trying to have some fun out here. So I had an eventful off season, did a lot during Super Bowl week, and was fortunate enough to be on Good Morning Football, host Good Morning Football for 2 days, and did a few other things, get on some podcasts and things like that. So it was fun, man. Yeah,
obviously you want to be in the big game, but when it's in your city, what kind of an experience was that for you, just to be kind of showing the city out all week? I mean, just someone having to watch from afar, I thought it was a pretty awesome week for New Orleans.
Yeah, I think it was great for the city, for sure, to have the Super Bowl here, and just to see what the city looked like when I got back for that week. And it was beautiful, man. Like, it was special. I was like, man, I think this needs to be here more often.
Yep.
It was kind of like that feeling, and I think the city's well equipped for it, and it's the vibes and the people. It's truly, New Orleans should have more Super Bowls.
It definitely showed out, man. Look, a lot of changes in the offseason, coming in, new staff, and as someone who's been here for a while, how difficult is it as a player to kind of make that transition from staff to staff? Because now you've actually experienced it 3 times.
I have 3 times in 3 years, right? Crazy. It's just, you just adjust. It's like kind of when I came from college and came here, or when I went from high school and got to college, you adjust. And that's what this league is all about. If you can't adjust, then I don't know if you got a place here. So, it's being able to adjust and, just buy into whatever new information you're getting, because that's what you're doing for the year.
Yep.
So just buying in for that information and adjusting and just rolling with it.
All right, well, look, the thing that's been impressive to me in the first few practices. You've been through 5 practices now, and I know this is what you want to have on the offensive line, is continuity. I mean, you see the 5 that we've seen really going back to minicamp. You 5 guys have been on that line consistently, and that's really what it's all about as far as building relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And not even just us 5 too. I mean, yes, we had that, connection just being the starters, but as the entire offensive line room, man, we spent so much time together in that building outside of the required meeting time. You will always catch an offensive lineman with another offensive lineman in the building somewhere watching film, or we're gonna, what time is it, 11:20, 12 o'clock we start a movie. We pick a new movie. Yesterday was Blaze of Glory. We watched Happy Gilmore 2 the other day. Man, I don't know what we're going to watch today, but, it's just us bonding together, man. It's fun. That's what it's all about.
And I don't think it's a coincidence. We've heard recovery as really one of the buzzwords here in the first week of camp. There have been no less than 4 players who have come in front of the media and said this is the best that they have felt physically through however many practices. Do you feel the same way? And how big has it been for you guys to get that downtime during the day?
Yeah, because, you tell me, hey, this is practice 5, yep. Right? I remember how practice 5 has felt for me before, Man, it feels great. Uh-huh. And we had that time to recover, and we had that downtime to recover, and just the way everything is planned out is mapped out specifically for us, and, for us to feel like this. Yep. And, we're going to have our days where, like, we're working. And we're going to have our days where it's like, hey, we took it back a little bit. And then it's smart. And I love how, Coach Moore has got it planned out and how he has it mapped out, his philosophy on it. And it's truly just benefits us.
Tremendous segue, Cesar. That's how we say in the business here. But how impressive has Coach Moore been? Just to listen to him talk, it just you just feel like he knows exactly what he's doing every single second of the day, that it's a purpose. It's got a purpose. Time efficiency has been really, again, something that has been noticeable for someone who's been watching these practices. Yeah,
for sure. Everything we do is intentional, and you see it in what we're doing. Coach Moore is amazing, great leader, and we just love how he demands the best. He's like, we want the best out of all you guys, and what he does for us leading up to this is, how everything's structured is him showing us, hey, I'm setting you up to show me the best. And I just love it, man. And he's been great.
You got a new running mate to your right now. Taliesin moved from the left side to the right side. How has he been in the first week of camp?
Great, man. Talie's he's so gifted. A kid, he's a grown man, excuse me. That guy is special. And it's fun working with him, man. It's like I was talking earlier. I was talking about how me and Ram played together. We didn't really have to say too much to each other because we kind of just understood what we were doing, and it's kind of what me and Tally are already developing right now. It's like, hey, we don't gotta say too much right now. It's just, let's go. We don't gotta say too much. We know what we're doing. Me and you, we got the connection. Let's go ball. So it's fun.
Running game, pass protection. Those are big keys for you guys. Is really establishing the run the most important thing of being a lineman?
Absolutely. You pride yourself on being able to run the ball as an offensive line, and when you're able to establish the run, it makes the rest of the game a lot easier, and it makes everybody else around you a lot easier. So establishing that run game is extremely important as an offensive lineman.
3 quarterbacks back there too, so it's been interesting first week of camp watching these guys getting their opportunities, and you would figure it's going to be going all the way through the 3rd preseason game. I know Coach Moore talked about really pointing towards that first Chargers game to see what the reps are going to be, but that's a little bit of a different situation for you as well with a quarterback battle going on.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see these guys just compete. Mm-hmm. I love seeing them compete. I love seeing them just develop, and yeah, it's fun. Every guy's coming in there they're trying to win a starting job, and it's just, you love it because everybody's going in there to come and give you their best. So it's fun. Looking forward to getting back out to California again for a few days? Absolutely. I love being out here. I love seeing our fans. Yep. I love seeing that support. It's truly it makes camp a lot more fun. It really does. So definitely going to miss them when we get to California, but I'm going to really enjoy that weather. So you try to get a little golf in? Golf right now, tough, huh? It's tough. I don't got 18. I don't got 18 in me right now, but If you tell me, hey, C's, let's go chip and putt on a break, on an off day, I'll chip and putt for an hour,
I might have to take you up on that. I think we got a par 3 behind our hotel in Newport, and we're staying right by you guys, so I'm looking forward to that. Final thing, you think the Wolverines are going to get the Buckeyes again another year?
Absolutely. I haven't seen Michigan lose to the Buckeyes since I've been a professional, and I'm going into year 6, so it's fun. I don't think the Buckeyes are going to beat them.
All right, Cesar, great to talk to you. Continued success at camp, and best of luck the rest of the year, man.
Thanks, man. Yes, sir.
That's Cesar Ruiz, right guard for your New Orleans Saints on your Saints podcast presented by Rouse's. Erin Summers, back to you.
Thank you, Graff, for that interview with Cesar. He is always great to talk to. Appreciate the insight from both of you guys. Tomorrow is a shorter practice. It is going to be a closed practice to the fans and actually media as well. They're going to just do a special teams install walkthrough. So we will talk to Coach Moore and a couple players after they finish that, and we'll still bring you a podcast right here on NewOrleansSaints.com or wherever you get your pods to give you the news of the day, anything that coach or the players say, and kind of recap how things have gone over the last week as we continue to head into Saints training camp with the pads on the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So lots of good stuff coming up. Thanks so much for sticking with us. For Todd Graffagnini, I'm Erin Summers here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, brought to you by Rouse's Markets.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets.